The chip rally came roaring back today, and unlike some rallies this year, most of the market came along for the ride. Welcome to Finance in Review. This is your U.S. market recap for Thursday, July 9th, 2026. A factual summary of today's session, never investment advice. And stick around, a laser maker most people have never heard of jumped 27% today. That story is coming up. The S&P 500 rose 0.81% to close at 7,543.64. That move is worth roughly $475 billion in market value. The advance was led by chip and AI-linked names, and it followed strong demand for SK Hynix's U.S. share offering, which was reported at more than 7 times oversubscribed. The 10 biggest stocks drove about 40% of the index's gain. The rest came from everywhere else. The Dow Jones Industrial Average added 0.27% to finish at 52,487.41, the smallest gain among the majors, trailing on a day when the money clearly favored technology over the Dow's more traditional lineup. The Nasdaq Composite led the majors, climbing 1.3% to 26,206.89. The move followed a roughly 2.5% jump in the semiconductor group, with memory makers like Micron among the strongest performers in the wake of that oversubscribed SK Hynix offering. And here's the part this channel cares about. Small caps kept pace with the giants. The Russell 2000 rose 1.22% to 2,992.54. Participation was broad. Across our roughly 100 stock market sample, advancers outnumbered decliners nearly 2 to 1. The VIX, the market's gauge of expected volatility over the next 30 days, fell 6.27% to 15.84, back toward the calm end of its recent range, and a reversal of yesterday's jump. 7 of the 11 sectors finished higher. Technology led by a wide margin, up 2.18%, with the day's chip rally doing the lifting. Consumer discretionary gained 1.34%. Financials added just over 1% alongside easing bond yields, and communication services rose about 1%. At the bottom of the table, energy fell 1.4% as crude oil slid, a decline that came as shipping data showed tanker traffic through the Strait of Hormuz continuing despite the U.S.-Iran hostilities. Consumer staples slipped 1.41%, and utilities eased about 0.5%. Now to the movers, and as always, we skip the mega caps every other channel covers. nLIGHT, a small-cap laser technology maker, was the day's standout, surging 27.3% after announcing a U.S. contract award for missile and drone defense work. Fervo Energy, a geothermal power developer, rose 16% on a partnership with Nvidia and a national laboratory to build a digital twin of its geothermal fields. BridgeBio, a biotech, gained 15.1% after a rival heart drug from AstraZeneca and Ionis missed its goal in a late-stage trial. And that same miss sent Ionis Pharmaceuticals, the day's biggest decliner, down 23.9%. 10x Genomics, a health information services firm, added 15% following an earnings beat. And Bitdeer rose 14.1% after unveiling a $36 million Nevada production facility. On the downside, Granite Construction, an engineering and construction firm, fell 12.5% even after raising its outlook. And StubHub, the ticket marketplace, declined 9.3% amid reports of an investigation into alleged ghost ticketing at the World Cup. So where did the trading concentrate? Nvidia topped the volume table with about 131 million shares changing hands, while edging down 0.2%. Heavy volume, in other words, does not always mean a big move. American Airlines followed at roughly 124 million shares, up 3.3% on a day crude oil, one of an airline's biggest costs, moved sharply lower. That gain came even as one Wall Street firm downgraded the stock. Opendoor Technologies traded about 112 million shares, up 10.7%, following a stronger housing data report. Nokia gained about 8% on roughly 97 million shares, and New Holdings rounded out the list near 89 million. Time for today's Market Minute. How the S&P 500 is actually calculated. The index tracks roughly 500 large U.S. companies, weighted by float-adjusted market value. The bigger the company, the bigger its influence. The level you hear every day, like today's 7,543, isn't dollars. It's a scaled figure, divided by a proprietary divisor that S&P adjusts whenever companies are added, dropped, or restructured, so the number stays comparable over time. That means the index level only carries meaning relative to its own history, which is exactly how we used it today, measuring a 0.81% gain. So to recap Thursday's session, a chip-led advance that reached well beyond the chips, with the Nasdaq out front, small caps keeping pace, and advancers beating decliners nearly 2-1, while energy lagged as oil slid. That's the market close for today. Thanks for watching. And remember, this is information, not investment advice.